Okay, we're live. We're live. Excuse me. Peace, everybody. This is going to be a very quick live. I want to say welcome, everybody. Hit the link, hit the like, I should say. When you hit the link, share the link. We're going to come in and talk about no meaning no and just how confused a lot of people are in our society about that particular concept of consensual and non-consensual versus no meaning no and what we will call grape, but we're talking about SA. Peace, sa.neter. What do you? I'm going to play a clip after you. Just introduce yourself or say hi to the people. I know you're busy.
Peace and Black Power family. You already know what it is. I'm here with Nepal Shadar, and you already know my co-host. And we're about to talk about some things. Hopefully, y'all can join in on us and see what it is. Let's go, Nepal.
All right. So let's first. I have a debate coming up. It is going to be the topic of grape in the Bible, and here is the flyer. So the flyer is: do the scriptures in the Bible, specifically Deuteronomy 21 and Deuteronomy 22, do they make concession and or mitigate for grape? I'm going to be debating Yara, Black Sage, on December 27th. And I was having a conversation with him the other day on the panel, and he says some very interesting things. He talks about how no doesn't always mean no. It depends on the woman. And what he does is conflate men being accused of graping women, falsely accused, with the idea that no should mean no. What am I talking about? Some women have accused men of graping them when it can be argued that the women actually consented. However, that conversation and those situations are case by case. What we can do is say this for sure. If you don't want to get yourself in a situation where someone accuses you of grape, if you think they say yes, but they get the next day after you have sex, they say, "Oh, that wasn't consent." The best thing you can do is not be unsure if she's saying no. If she's expressing no, if she's expressing that she just doesn't want to, those days of coaxing her into it, seducing her, baby, please just let me, just this little bit in there, those days are gone. If a woman says no, it means no. And that's what we're looking at with this particular consent thing. I do want to play this clip where I was talking to Yara, and some of you may agree with him and some of you may not. But I want to let you hear he's not alone in his mindset. I want you to hear what he says when we get to the topic of consent. I'm just going to play it. Say no. No means no.
What up, Judah?
Yara, hold on, y'all. Yara,
I'm sorry.
Judah, wait. Yara, how many times I got to tell you for all the ladies out there? No means no, brother. Go ahead, Judah. Go ahead.
That's only for certain women.
Yara said that's only for certain women. And I'm not just trying to just get this soundbite. He goes and he tries to explain himself. But before I go forward, if somebody makes the statement, no means no, what is the mindset of someone who says that's only for certain women? Yes, he's going to explain it. But when you hear no means no, sa.neter, what's your answer to that? What's your response? If you're still there, I don't even know if you're still here. Can you hear me?
You really want my response?
Yeah, maybe it could be whatever it is.
You're not going to get mad at me.
No, I said he's not the only one who thinks like that.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying this is what he's saying. I'm saying it with me. Sometimes in this context, no don't always means no. Now, let me explain what I'm saying.
Right.
At first, she could start off saying no. And then, we as men, come on, baby, I love you, baby. Please, baby, I need my energy boost, baby. You're the only one that I need. And then she gives in and said, you know what? All right, baby, you got it, baby. See, so sometimes no don't always mean no. She can say no, but as long as you're not forcing yourself after she say no. But then when she gives you the green light and said, you know what? Come on, baby, this is the last time I'm fucking with you. Then she give in. So
okay, I
don't know if that's what Yara is saying.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Thank you. That is why people like sa.neter and Yara are dinosaurs. There are right people are no, because that is the wrong way.
No, did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, and I'm trying to respond.
I don't think you heard what I said.
What's weird is like you're just like him. I let you talk, and now I'm about to talk.
Go ahead. Go ahead. And now, go ahead.
When you heard him, what you heard sa.neter just say, he didn't seem to hear me earlier. If a woman says no off rip, the days of you begging and massaging and sitting there for an hour trying to get some are over, because it is you working to make her change her no. That is why men are getting caught up, going to jail, getting put behind bars for women's saying, I didn't want to do it, but he kept on trying to force me. Now, here, I want to summer jam somebody else who's also doesn't seem to understand what I'm saying. sa.neter is saying facts. Napa, be honest. As women, we say no, but mean yes sometimes. Now, this particular woman would get somebody locked up.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
No, I have to. Why are you cutting me off? Why? Because thank you for your comment, sister. But this is what happens. A sister who thinks we say yes sometimes, when a woman says no, and then a man begs her and goes and tries to make her do it, he can get in trouble. He will get in trouble with the cops. Don't you get it? This is what I'm saying.
All right, can I say something right quick?
This is why we say no means no. If you have to beg her and convince her and let me just put the head in, then you are pushing someone who already told you no. You get it?
Can I say something?
Uh-huh.
I have to disagree with you, Nepal.
Oh, and I just want to say this, sister, you're getting guys locked up.
Yeah, let me finish there. Don't cut me off now.
No, like I just want to make sure this sister.
All right. Sometimes I get what you're saying, but I don't think you heard me. No means no. I get it, and I'm with that. But sometimes men with their charm, with their persistence, and they like, especially if you knew the woman for years and y'all known each other, and you're like, come on, baby, I need you, baby. I love you, baby. There's no other woman out there for me like that. And you keep persistent and you keep it going. And then she gives in and say, well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Because I'm sure all men are guilty of that. There's women sometimes that says, no, I don't feel like it. No, I don't want to. But then the man is like, baby, like I'm saying, he persisted and he keep it going. And then she gives in. That's not great. That's not going to prison. There's nothing wrong with that. Men do it all the time. I'm just keeping it real with you.
You're not listening. That's why, and you're the reason that people, your mindset is getting men locked up. This is what I'm trying to say. You saying, come on, please, please. If someone has said no in a sexual situation, that's too bad for her if she really did want it. She said no, and men should be able to say, okay, I'm not doing this because I
you
know.
think when a woman say no, a man just walks out and give up? No,
they don't
work like that in real life. Men be like, baby, what you mean no, babe? What you talking about? What I do?
Wait a minute.
They saying, what I do to you? What I do? I didn't do nothing wrong.
Why are you
like
going?
Men try to explain it. I'm not forcing myself on her.
Prison, right?
I'm waiting for she give me the green light and says, come on, baby. And then she started pulling down her panties, doing it on her own.
You don't get it. That's forcing yourself on her. You are forcing
you pull them off. Sometimes the woman say, you take them off. I want you to pull them off. Come on, man.
You are forcing yourself on her. Yes, you are. You are forcing yourself on her.
No, you're not.
You're sounding suspect. If somebody says no, if someone says no in a sexual situation that could get you locked up for life, this is a problem with people like you. And especially brothers. That culture, that's a part of Black culture. It's a lot of not just Black culture, Latino, Hispanic, white, everybody does it. But I'm saying really the way you're not listening. If a woman can get you locked up, why are you begging and trying to change her mind when she said no? That's my point. You don't get it.
Men do it all the time.
Huh?
Men do it all the time, and that's reality.
And that's why they end up locked up. Okay, so let's keep listening to what he says, because he thinks the same way.
How many times you told me no? And I said, baby, please.
I never said no to you. Excuse me. Excuse me. No, don't interrupt me. Now you just fucked up because you're trying to play games. Everybody, now it's clown time. I thought we were doing a serious show. Don't talk over me. Don't talk over me. Don't talk over me. Do not talk over me. No, do not talk over me. When I said no, I meant it, and I didn't get forced.
That's true. You're right.
So he's trying to be funny. I didn't have sex until I got married to sa.neter. So I said no, and I meant
You're right.
And
baby.
guess what?
You're right.
As a responsible woman, I never put myself in a situation where a brother is getting teased or, put to the point where he's getting frustrated sexually. So women have to be responsible as well. You shouldn't put yourself in the room with no clothes on with the man and sit there talking about no, because then you put yourself in a situation to get taken advantage of, or or he's frustrated.
I like that. I like that. So, Paul, are you saying that a woman can't change her mind?
What do you mean if she can't change her mind?
And a woman change her mind?
Change her mind to say yes to sex after she said no?
Yes.
Is
it illegal for a woman to change her mind?
You shouldn't. If you're in a situation in the bedroom or in somewhere having kissing or whatever, two people about to have sex, if a woman says no, that it should get shut down. Now I know nobody's going to listen to me. They're going to do what they want to do, but don't talk about how, these brothers are getting locked up because she said yes and then she changed her mind. Don't talk about it, because that is why no means no. No means no. If a woman says, no, I don't want to do it, you should get up off of her or buckle your pants up and get going. And then if she's like, you're not going to keep trying, you have to be responsible and be like, you said no. I'm not putting myself in a situation begging for PUSSY.
Okay, I got you.
So let's keep listening to Yara.
My bad. Go ahead.
Also, y'all heard it. See? You heard him say he could take it, y'all. He said, you heard him, Devion. He said, no doesn't always mean no. See?
I said to certain women, it doesn't.
I know. So for you,
men know that.
So you
men have experienced that. You might not have experienced that. No mean might mean when you deal with other women, but it ain't talking about every man knows it. That's a fact.
Listen to what he's saying. Ladies and gentlemen, get that. Did you hear that, ladies? Yara said,
and I'm gonna show that in the debate.
Yara said, no, doesn't always
have been shown and proven to accuse men of rape.
That doesn't have any. So you hear once again this is also going back to men. Men are always
different from Yara. You ain't hear what I was saying. My take is totally different from what Yara is saying.
I'm listening to you.
And now, come on, man. Let's keep it real, man. How many times men out there, you brothers, I'm talking to you, are you going to be a stand-up man or are you going to be a punk? How many times you look at your woman and you say, baby, what's going on? Why, you beg her or you plead with her or you show her that you ain't doing, and she puts you on punishment and you like, what did I do? What did I do? I didn't do nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? And now what if that goes for if you are married, Nepal? You saying that the husband can't go to his wife and convince her that, yeah, I need you right now.
Yeah, that's a little bit different, but it's not totally different. A man begging his wife for sex, what's going on there? Like, I don't want to start talking about that. But yeah, a woman can hold out. You don't want to hear from me. If you have to beg your wife for sex and it's a regular thing, if you didn't do anything to her, like if you didn't maybe cheat on her or physically harm her, if you're just begging her for sex, you might need to look into polygyny. I just can never wrap my mind around that. A woman withholding sex from her husband just because she feels powerful, and that's something I don't know. I just can't. But you have to be careful with that as well.
Okay.
If it just that's something that it's a little bit more complicated because a woman can accuse her husband of raping her, but it's harder to convince a court that your husband raped you. There has to be some violence surrounding it.
Would you like to get some questions from the audience, Nepal?
Yeah.
If people would like to come in and
yeah, they can come in. I played that enough, but I want to also they can come in. I want to read this excerpt from this book called "The Absence of God in Biblical Grape Narratives." It's a book I have, and I'm going to read some excerpts. But yeah, drop the link.
If you come in, please cam up. If you want to come in.
Okay, so this is a page from out of the book. It's called it's actually a chapter called "Defining Grape." There is no biblical Hebrew word for grape. The absence of God in the narrative grape scene in Genesis 34, Judges 19, and 2 Samuel 13, combined with the lack of definition for biblical grape, inspired the genesis of this particular study. Grape scenes or imagery are present in several biblical books, and yet the majority of biblical scholarship does not consider them together. Why am I segueing into the Bible? Because believe it or not, whether we want to admit it or not, our society is very much based on a lot of these biblical narratives. We've become desensitized to grape even. We've become desensitized to the objectification of women. It doesn't mean that you're a grapist if you try to seduce a woman. It just means that you're not up to speed with how you're supposed to behave in this day and age to protect yourself and to protect women, or I don't know, I'm going to say women, to protect yourself and to protect women in sexual situations or potential sexual situations. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, those are feminist talking points. When you talk about protecting women, all of a sudden they start calling you a feminist. But really, too many women are being taken advantage of in sexual situations. If a woman is drinking out at night at a party and she's not wasted, her judgment might be off. So that sexual seduction, that sensual seduction that you're talking about, like, come on, baby, please, it may work easier on a woman when she's intoxicated. It'll work easier on a man too, but I'm talking about heterosexual situations. Because most of the time, I'm not saying that in a heterosexual situation, men are not taken advantage of, but 99% of the time, or 90% of the time, I'll say it's going to be the classic, like sa.neter said, a man trying to get sex. So,
well, men was being taken advantage of in the Bible, Nepal. Men was getting raped in the Bible.
I told you that today.
True. Facts.
Yeah. So, even without alcohol, if she's young and she's impressionable, she may not want to have sex, but all of that begging and mind talk, when most of these times men are just trying to get sex, they're just telling her anything she wants to hear to get sex, right? So am I saying women are innocent little babies? No, but let's be honest. If a woman is in a situation and she even thinks she has to say no, that should be the end of it. Like, pretty much when you say no and if she says no and you get up to leave, if she wanted to have sex with you, she's going to start pursuing you, even if it's not at that moment. You can go home, you can leave and wait for the next day. She's going to be like, oh, he didn't try it. The next time you're together, she's going to be the one maybe trying to make the move, hopefully. Or if you make the move, she's going to say, oh, I'm so glad you're doing this. She's not going to say no. But it's up to you what you want to do with your life as a male. If you want to be in a situation where you had to beg for 2 hours to get some sex from her, and you think that was some kind of accomplishment, you could go home that night and then have the police at your door the next in the night, or a few more hours of the next day, and she could be like, he made me do it. So if that's what you want to do with your life, you got to make choices. But no means no. And I was reading that stuff about the Bible, but I'm not going to get too into it. Basically, there's a scripture in the Bible that says it's similar to Deuteronomy 22, except it's not grape. It is a man. When a woman says no, in a way, it's like enticing. It's in Exodus. It's like when he keeps on begging and seducing. Yes, she consented, but you had to convince her to consent. And in biblical times, that might have worked because women were property. But we're in the age of Me Too and
You there, Nepal? Nepal. All right, you went out. Hey, yo, can we get somebody to come in? Do y'all want to come in? Anybody? Do we got any real men out there that would like to come in? Any sisters out there? Hit the link. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat, y'all. Y'all got to stop being afraid to come in. One more thing that I would like to do, man. For everybody out there, I want to send a thank you and respect to all those who have supported the channel, who have supported through Cash App, through PayPal. I want to say thank you very much. I really mean that, man, because because I went outside today and I was hungry, man, and I ain't had no money to get a pizza. And I looked at my Cash App and I said, whoa, I got $70-something on my Cash App throughout the night. So I want to say thank you to all those who do show love and support. And I do appreciate that, y'all. So believe that. Thank you for the love, man. Thank you for the love. For those of y'all who come through. I thought I was going to be hungry tonight. I just gave you 10. I think I saw that, brother. Let me see. Was that yesterday or today? So I just want to let everybody know, though, that I do appreciate what they do for the HOK. Believe that. Yeah. Yeah, I see you, brother. Thank you, man. Yeah, I do see it. Yeah. Okay, Nepal is back. Nepal is back.
Yeah. Anyway, this is just a rush job. But where was I? Oh, it depends on what you want to do with yourself. But no does mean no. And as far as the consent goes, you know, in the Bible, there's a lot of stuff going on where women couldn't even say no. They couldn't even say no. They just, I was saying the Bible is a big part of our culture. Would you agree that even if you don't believe in the Bible, that it's a huge part of our culture?
Hell yeah. And the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible, the Quran, all of these, and Jehovah Witness, all that stuff. That's the problem with us. You don't agree that that's a big problem on Nepal?
There is a big problem when it comes to certain things with
No,
women.
let me ask you this. Do you think we could come together in unity without the Bible or religious ideologies and stuff like that?
We can't come together without, because we come together in a secular way.
Easier, quicker, right?
But the culture is still going to be there.
But
Anyway.
because of rules and laws set up in these Qurans and these books, stops us, Nepal. That's what I be saying. It's because of the rules, the laws, the government, all of this stuff that's set up in these books stops us from coming together. I can't get with you because I'm a Muslim and it goes against the laws of and rules of Islam. I can't get with you because the commandment says this and the Torah says this. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's because of these rules and laws that's in there. You say no because you are a believer.
There's nobody not getting together because of their Muslim.
Yes, it is. Why the fight continue right now from thousands of years? Muslims versus Christians.
Okay, you just said there's people saying I can't get with you because you're a Muslim. Nobody's doing that in the black.
Because of the religious, I'm saying what I'm talking about. Because of the laws that's set up in the Quran, the laws that's set up in the Torah, they can't go against that. And don't forget, in the Quran, it says, take not the Jews or the Christians as your friends. See? So that law right there by itself tells you don't take none of these people as your friends. That one alone.
Okay, I'm going to try to talk.
Talk to me.
Now. Yeah. So that's not even true what you said, though. People are still they're still friends. I got with you. I'm a Hebrew and you're not. Like, so people are not getting in relationships because of religion, unless it's like a black Hebrew Israelite doesn't want to get with a non-black person. But overall, with the culture, no. Muslims are friends with Christians. Black Muslims are friends with Christians. Nothing in Islam is stopping people from being friends. So no, that is not the reason why we're not getting together. We're not getting together because we are damaged from, we have a lot of trauma, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and PTSS, post-traumatic stress syndrome, from slavery and all the things that have happened to us as Black Americans. Peace, Apostle. But no, it's not because of the Bible that people aren't getting along. Not Black people. What you want to say, Apostle? How are you? You're muted. Oh, no, you're not. You're not muted. I can't hear you, though. We can't hear you. Can you hear him, sa.neter? Can you hear him, audience? Is it me or can you guys hear me? I can't hear you at all, Apostle. Maybe they can hear you. Oh, they can't hear you either. No. We can't hear you, Apostle. What's going on with your audio? We want to hear from you, but your audio is not working out. Maybe check the settings. Okay, so H. Millet said they can hear me. Look at H. Millet said we hear you, not him. So I don't know, something's going on with your audio. He's going to come back, hopefully. All right, y'all. So basically, when I said a lot of stuff in the Bible is based in society, I'm talking about things like, how first and foremost, how women are treated in society. I know that makes people call me a feminist, but I got to start with the stuff that how women are treated in society. Like, women are still objectified sexually. Like, people aren't even embarrassed to say no doesn't always, like, people aren't even embarrassed. Men aren't even embarrassed to say no doesn't always mean no. It should be like that. In some forums where people are super hypersensitive to these type of topics, you will get men and women having this, being on the same accord, saying, yeah, no means no. But overall, not just in Black communities, in pretty much all over America, you talk to men and they'll have that conversation about not non-consensual versus rape. Like they discuss it. In fact, let me get this excerpt from this book where it says, what is rape? Okay. So I'm going to read this part real quickly. It says, what is rape? I should say grape. Sorry. What is grape? On the surface, this seems to be a simple question, right? Easily answered by legal definitions, collected experiences, medical reports. However, countless recent examples here, listen to this, countless recent examples in popular media demonstrate how confused the American public is with regard to a universal definition of grape, and how misguided and even complacent authority figures fail to adjudicate grape. So, this confusion regarding definitions of grape helps explain the confusion biblical scholars have, like Yara and many others, when discussing grape scenes and imagery in the Hebrew Bible. Since several scholars rely on modern definitions or categories to guide their interpretation of the text. Now, this person, as you see, saying that is obviously leaning toward, oh, like Yara, oh, that's not really great, but we know it is great. However, this is a true statement. A lot of people are confused on what the definition of grape is. Let's keep going. The hit HBO show Game of Thrones, based on George R.R. Martin's novel series, A Song of Ice and Fire, has faced controversy surrounding its multiple depictions of grape. Although the show is unapologetically violent in general, viewers and critics alike have highlighted the recurring presence of grape as a, quote, background noise, a routine and unshocking occurrence, unquote. In defense of his novel, Martin commented, quote, grape and sexual violence have been part of every war ever fought. Keep that in mind. This is where, when you talk to people about Deuteronomy 21, like shave her head, pare her nails, when you talk to them, they'll be like, well, that's just war. They disconnected from actually being grape. I'm adding that commentary. But back to the quote. From the ancient Sumerians to our present day, many fans are troubled by the graphic depictions of grape on the show and have utilized social media to voice their concerns. Let me look and see who just came in. Oh, okay. Hey, Apostle, let's see if we can hear you now. We cannot hear you still, sir. Dang. Did you check your settings in StreamYard? Go into, oh, you did? Did you check your mic setting on your actual computer? We cannot hear you still. That's unfortunate. Oh, let's see. Wait, I kind of hear a echo. Was that me or was that you? Say something. We cannot hear you. Huh. Let's see your mic settings on my end. Echo cancellation, reduce mic background. Yeah. It's your mic. Is your mic on? It's on. Did you do a test on your mic in StreamYard? You know how you can test it?
Testing one, testing.
There it is. You turned it
You
on.
there?
Yeah, you turned it on just.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can hear you. Hello.
All right. So y'all can hear me?
We hear you great.
I got it awful loud.
I know. I'm going to turn it down some. Try it now.
Okay. All right.
Okay, good. Say something.
Testing one.
You sound, yeah, it's good. It's
Testing
good.
one. Okay. The reason why I'm calling, if I heard you correctly, when I was 17 years old, I met this young girl, same age. She might have even been a little older than me. She was in college. And she was thick. She was like my boy said, she was a brick house. And we had just started dating about 3 weeks. And she came to visit me at my mama's house. And at that time, my bedroom was in the basement. My oldest brother had moved back home. Him and his old lady got into it, and he left. And he, with emergency thing, he moved back into the house, and I gave him my room. And I moved down in the basement just to make it short. And we went down there, and we was doing our thing. We was kissing and all of that. So I saying he still can't hear me.
People can hear you though. Everybody's
okay, so saying he can't hear me.
Keep on going.
Okay. So basically, she was saying no. And I was respecting the no. But we still kept making out. And eventually she gave in. So are you telling me that I raped that woman?
No, I'm not telling you that. I'm saying sometimes women say no and then men keep pursuing. And afterwards, the woman will say, you violated me. I said no. And you kept on pushing me and pushing me. And now I feel like you raped me. So that's why I was saying no means no. A lot of men do what you do. They keep trying. But that's the point with no means no. No means no. Like what Inky's comment, if I could read it from a man's perspective, no does not mean no in every instance. Book him. Laugh out loud. A man should always act on no twice as fast as he acts on yes. And if after you have a yes, no should mean stop. Don't play. So my point is, you're rolling this isn't my full point, but with this conversation about men, you're rolling the dice with your freedom when you just keep trying and she keeps saying no. I get it. She wants it, but she's saying no. But there's a reason she's saying no, whether she wants to play that game or not. The time of women saying no and meaning yes is long gone. That's what I'm saying. So no, I'm not saying you raped her, but I am saying that you enticed her and you.
Well, I enticed her, but
Yeah.
when we did it, she was very willing.
I'm
But
sure.
my point is now today, in this Hebrew paradigm, that won't happen because I'm not sleeping with no one that I'm not married to. So that situation, as far as if it's done respectfully and respectfully, in this paradigm that I'm in, that should never happen.
Right. Right. And Apostle, I hear you. And this, I want to address this brother's comment. This woman's mindset is wild, dangerous. No, actually, I'm trying to help you as a Negro male or any male. If you want to let if you want to roll the dice with your life for some sex, do it. See where it gets you. But you can't complain about how men are getting accused of being rapists, but it was consensual. You can't say, "Oh, I'm upset about that," when you have a lot of men putting themselves in situations where someone says no, and then you try to convince the woman, and then when you do convince her, she has sex. Then later on, she says, "Oh, you raped me. I'm going to the court." So this happens all the time. I'm gonna let you go, Seven Asar. This happens all the time. When a person says no, why are we just moving quickly past that? If she said no, are you trying to get points for being Rico Suave? Like, you're rolling the dice with your freedom. And I see Apostle said he's not in like that anymore. He's wiser, he's older, right? So I'm just saying no means no. And it should be just that. If a person says no, once they, and what Inky said too, once she said yes, and then she starts it and says no, it should be stop. So anyway, this is just, I'm not dangerous. I'm telling you what's happening in the world today. You're being childish to say I'm dangerous. Okay, so P7, and anybody can have their opinion, but when you start trying to call me dangerous, now I see that you're just trying to be a sensationalist and make it like I'm against men when I'm literally saying, don't get yourself in that situation. Or can you not control your loins? Are you an animal and a dog like they try to paint black men? Are you a man who can control yourself and know, hey, she said no, and I'm not trying to get locked up? It's up to you, though. P7, what did you want to say about this? I promise if you have
Peace.
a conflicting view, everybody has their own opinion. Peace to you.
Yeah, peace, Queen. And peace to Elder Apostle, and peace to sa.neter. I know he's distracted on the side. I just want to first start out and say, and peace to everybody in the chat. I just want to first start off and say that I love when you host conversations like this, because there's a lot of edification that goes on. You're not scared to hear adverse opinions on subjects like this, and you're really trying to educate and move us forward with conversations like this. So,
Thank you.
that's why I try if I can to participate in them with you, because
Thank you.
I just feel you do a great job in that. I just want to add that as far as everything you said about the violent sexual assault of women is 100% on point. I think there's a host of reasons and factors of why that goes on. You've outlined a lot of them in religiously, right? Um, but what I think what we have to understand is there has to be a re-education of young men, because the older men are going to be set in their ways. But it has to be
Right,
a re-education of young men as well as young women.
right.
There's a two-part re-education, right? Because a lot of times young men, they're not taught on how properly to deal with a woman. Because let's first I want to start here. Young men and men should not be punished because of their natural sexual attraction to women, right?
Yes, true.
Nature is causing them to have sex on the top of their mind, not the fact that they're bad people.
True.
What creates that negative action that women feel is because these young men or grown men weren't taught how to deal with that innate nature feeling, right? And how to communicate that in a safe and respectful way to the young woman, right? I think what we're missing, because the patriarchal system, especially in my opinion, right? Religion, especially in this Western society that we're mainly influenced in, like you said, the Bible. I think Abrahamic religions, which overwhelmingly teaches patriarchy, has put men in charge of women, and there was pros and cons to that. I'm gonna say that heavy pros and heavy cons, right? The heavy pros for me, I'm gonna start there first, is that a lot of women, unlike today, were protected by their fathers, right? If they were interested in a young man or a young man was interested in them, there was a courting system where they had to be chaperoned.
Right.
There was no free time for any extra marital situations for them to get close to even produce a child, right? And even if somehow they did get together alone and did that and had a child, there was a thing called a shotgun wedding where the father would protect his daughter, right? And said, no, you have to marry her, right? So women were protected by their fathers from being abused by men who just didn't know how to deal with that natural instinct of wanting to have sex, right? And they also taught their daughters, made sure their daughters weren't put in situations where they were vulnerable or there was a misleading of a young man of her intentions, right? And the cons of that, on the other hand, is if the daughter didn't have a righteous father, he would use his daughter as property, right? Allow someone could get paid based on those laws you were talking about in the Bible for violating her violently, a violent sexual assault against her. It could be a paid off compromise instead of a consequence of death, which really would make majority of people not do that, right? So we have these cons that where men can control their daughters or their wives, and then there could be abuse there. But then we have the pros of where there's protection against other men who may abuse them, if the father is righteous. So we have that anomaly there. Then we have feminism, which came in, and women were able to go out on their own and think on their own. But once again, there was pros and cons to that, right? Because the con was, I'm gonna start the con with that one first. The protection from the father, the husband, or whatever has been removed because she feels like she can protect herself. And society has created a protection in the police force. The local police force can now protect women, right? And they can go out and get jobs and provide for themselves, so they no longer need the man for finances or protection. At least that's what society told them, until they still was in society and still being abused by men, right? Still being excused in society for the abuse. There were some laws before, even now, that where men could beat their wives with a stick no thicker than their pinky or thumb, right? So women were legally, you were able to legally still abuse women, right? Even during the feminist movement, because these laws were not eradicated, right? And still some places today, women are still being abused, even with the feminist movement going. So I think that there has to be a re-education of men and women, of young ladies, because there's one point that you said I disagree with, when you say that women don't say no more and they mean yes. Because I've seen countless of testimony of women.
I didn't say that. Did I?
I thought you said the days of women saying no and actually meaning yes or gone. I thought you told Apostle that. I may have been wrong.
I meant in the
Read
context
something
of,
like that.
I meant in the context of you will get in trouble. You know,
Oh,
that's what
okay.
I'm saying. Yeah, women still do that, but you're wrong. It's like
Yeah.
it's almost on the same level of like with not using protection. You when you're not using protection during a sexual encounter of people you just meet, it's the same as not protecting yourself in that way, because you could end up in jail playing that game. That's what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah.
would they do?
Oh,
say
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
you're right.
If I may, my question to Seven Aside is, what period of time are you talking about with this chaperone and women not get? I mean, what time?
Well, I'm gonna tell you the period of time. I'm gonna tell you the period of time.
I had chaperones before you go. I had my sisters and I had chaperones.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's really in the 50s and 60s, not in my neighborhood. There was,
Well, Paso, you were part of the small percentage, because majority of Western society, which was a Christian or Judeo faith society, they had chaperones up until the feminist movement really moved.
No, even
right?
now they say
I've never dealt with a chaperone, even with strict women, family members. Those women will find a way to get out the house.
No, we're talking about young. Wait, let me just say this: young women, like, you know how they'll say, "Well, you can't go unless your brother goes with you, or you can't go unless your older sister goes with you."
Facts.
That's what we mean.
Situation. I know girls that, because this ain't a thing that just a man scheme his way to get with a woman.
No, and I want to say,
scheming their ways, even at 16 and 17.
No, of course.
But Apostle, you talking from a small percentage when we're talking about society and certain different dates and time. Because society, there were young girls who were able to get away. I addressed that. For those young girls who were able to get away, the father would come with the shotgun and say, "You're gonna marry my daughter," right?
Yeah,
that used to be a norm in society. That's my point. And like I said, even all the way up to the feminist movement, where fathers didn't have the control over their daughters and wives that they used to, that's when that started dissipating. As far as the chaperoning of, like she said, from young girls to even to young ladies 18 and 19 years old. There was a controlled chaperoning of who they were able to deal with.
Yeah, when I say young girls, I mean up to 20 years old. I mean young girls,
yes,
young ladies. But I want to, for the men to and women, this is toward the women. What you said about men, I think there's something like men aren't just out there like wolves. No, women need to stop putting men in situations where you don't really want to have sex, but you're in the room, you got your panties off. Oh, let's just lay down and hug. I saw this happen to the brother Rod Hayes. A crazy lady was talking about, I was sleeping in bed with him naked and I just wanted him to hold me. Stop it. Stop.
Well, women are weaponizing sex right now. Like, I don't think that women should be treated as property, but then there's psychosis in our community because of not the education of a lot of our young sisters, where they do treat themselves as property. And you've got to spend all kind of money just to even talk to them.
That's not treating yourself as property. Yeah,
you're putting a value on yourself. If you put a value on yourself, you do treat yourself as property. If there's a value of monetary value on yourself, my sister, you're treating yourself as property.
No, wrong. If a man is coming to you talking about, I want to be a leader, I want you to respect me as the boss, he has to be able to pay for himself to be the boss. If you're paying, the boss pays. The boss pays.
I agree with you when you're trying to court a woman, but let's deal with reality in modern day society. If I just meet you and I want to have a coffee date with you, that should be fair, because I don't know you, you don't know me. I shouldn't have to spend $500 on a first date to get to know you. And if you think that a man, wait, hold on, let me finish. And if you think that a man in today's society, who the average man cannot afford a $500 date, and if you do want to try to get those men who can afford $500 just feloniously to just to spend on a date, those are very small percentage of men in this society. And those men usually share women. So if you're not ready to share a man who can do that, don't demand that from the average man. And that's what I'm referring to.
Okay, now let me just clear
You
this
want
up.
your cake and ice cream too. You
No, but
in your
No, I'm talking about reality.
nobody is trying to get
Apostle.
in reality.
All right. Listen
Can I
up.
finish my statement?
Yeah, I'm gonna
though?
let you finish up, Nepal.
After
We
you
got to close out because I got another show right now. Go ahead,
so let
Nepal.
me finish my statement, please. In reality, women aren't trying to ask men to take them to $500 dinners.
right.
That's some stuff
That's
you're
crazy.
seeing on.
That's absurd.
Yeah, we're talking about men not even wanting.
Reality.
They don't even want to pay for coffee. Men are just crying on the internet. Not you, Seven. There are men crying on the internet about how she got to bring this and how come she don't bring this money. And if you want somebody to bring some money, I had this conversation with sa.neter, who has never asked me to pay for anything or any of his wives, whether he wants to stick up for the man or not. Men come in crying about how women won't pay this and that. Don't want to be treated like bosses. They want to be equals. They want their woman telling them, you're my equal. If you want to be the boss, then you're going to say, look, I do coffee dates. Come on out. I don't mind buying you coffee. I'll throw in a muffin. But if you can't do the coffee date and throw in the muffin and pay for both of us, then you want to be my equal. You don't want to be my leader. That's just it is. Like
Now,
when you
this
go,
is what I said this to Nepal. Me and her had conversations about this.
he said,
And
I hate it.
And I said, if the man is broke and don't have the means right now, then if the woman had the means, she step up to the plate and takes care of her husband. Nepal said, no, that's not the way it should go.
Okay.
I said, no, okay, you tell me what we was talking about.
Why do you always have to lie? I'm sitting right here.
No,
I would have asked you what you said.
Tell me.
No, Nepal didn't say anything like that. You're talking
All right,
about
say it.
You're talking about a marriage. Okay.
All right,
we're
say
talking
it.
about dating.
What was we talking about? What were we talking about? I mean,
we're talking about dating first before we get to a marriage. If you meet a man and he's broke and he likes you, you shouldn't be disrespectful to him and be like, you broke, and make him feel bad. But you just be like, hey, look, you're a cool guy. I'm not really looking for a relationship right now, but we could definitely be friends. But you ain't gonna be my man.
Nepal, you switched this whole thing up.
And I'm not even talking about broke men either, though. My point wasn't about broke men, though.
But listen, this is what he tried to say. This is what sa.neter's trying to do. This is the thing, brothers. Please listen to me. I don't hate men. I love men. I have a son. I have nephews. I have brothers. I'm helping you. Listen to me carefully. You're black men, and you're always complaining about how people don't let you lead. The point is, if you want to lead, you can't be paid for. If you're married and she met you and you were a leader, meaning you had the money to pay for her coffee and her muffin, but now you lost your job, that's not the same thing. Of course, you could be like, okay, baby, you can't pay this bill right now. Let me get it. Because I know that you're not going to sit around forever waiting for me to pay for everything. I know you're just having a rough time. We're not talking about rough times. We're talking about men who want women to pay for them all the time. Go ahead, Apostle.
In the Hebrew paradigm, if you can't afford that second wife, and getting that second wife is going to cause that first wife problems, that she's going to have to lower her standard of living so you can make that second wife, then it's wrong.
Yeah.
You shouldn't take that second wife.
That's not just in the Hebrew paradigm. That's Islam as well.
I'm not talking about Islam. I don't know that. I'm talking
I'm telling you, that's Islam too.
I'm just talking.
Anyway, yo, I got the roll. 7, come on over. We going live right now. I got Dr. Inky. He's going in on Jabari Osaze and Seiko. he feels that he's ready to, yo, listen, Inky is feeling his oaks. He's feeling it now. He think because he beat up, he's going on a rampage. He's going at Jabari, and he's gonna bring it to Sekou. In a couple of minutes, I'm going live right now. I'm hitting the live button.
Wait, don't hit the live button yet. I need to read this. Listen, this ain't no Hebrew nothing. 2025, a woman can pay as well. That's why women don't respect you guys. Because let me say something about sa.neter, and I assume Apostle.
Don't say nothing about me now.
No, yes, I am. Sa.neter has never asked any woman to pay anything, and that's why he's different than the other man. So I'm sure Apostle maybe is the same way. Asar, if you can afford, you do what you can afford. But when you're sitting there talking about women can pay too, you're coming in with the wrong mindset. Of course I can pay. Of course I will pay. When I first met him, I paid $1,000. I paid $3,000 for him his birthday.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
I'm not. They don't get it.
It's not about asking her to pay.
And you paid for my flight too, so don't forget.
It's not about asking her to pay. It's about her paying. It's about her just doing it, right? Or it's about her offering it. That's the type of woman that a man that's not broke, like you said, really wants, right?
Don't forget, and you paid for my flight too, Nepal.
I paid for his flight. I paid for
because that's and that's a real woman. That's a real woman.
But guess what? Guess what? He was the one always. He never asked me, like you said. If he's coming in and asking me what you gonna pay, we're gonna be friends. Right. I'm friends with you.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Y'all, peace and love. We'll continue this some other time. Thank you for tuning
great conversation, Queen. Great conversation, Sa.
We live right now. We are live right now. Just exit.
Apostle have the last word.
Okay, Apostle ain't got no last word. Apostle will be over there because we're live right now. Apostle, bring your little monkey ass over here. I know you want to see Sekou get dragged. We got in the building.
We out. Part two. I'm a dragon.
All right, we out.